Welcome back to our channel for another exciting dive into the drama of Los Angeles. Today is a beautiful day to unpack the latest daytime shockers. Grab your favorite beverage and let us get right into the action. Blood on the knuckles. A shattered sense of security. The rhythmic, terrifying sound of fists meeting bone. Will Spencer has crossed a dangerous line, but the true nightmare is only just beginning. We are bracing for an impact so catastrophic it could permanently fracture the foundations of the Forrester and Spencer empires. Will Spencer is spiraling out of control. His temper is no longer a hidden flaw. It is a weapon of mass destruction. He cornered R.J. Forrester. He swung his fists. He landed a brutal blow. Then he hit him again. And again. By his own feral admission to his mother, Will kept swinging again and again and again. This is not a single bad night. This is a violent, escalating pattern. Patterns like this do not just stop. They explode. And right now, the entire daytime community is staring at a ticking time bomb. Bestie, ex-user SoapVision X is not going out on a limb with their latest explosive theory. They are reading the writing on the wall. Will Spencer is terrifying. His temper is a matter of on-screen record. He has openly admitted that he completely loses himself when he feels cornered. He becomes a wild animal. A cornered predator lashing out at anything in his path. Every single person in his orbit is currently standing in the blast radius of his rage. Electra Forrester saw the darkness in his eyes. She felt the danger radiating from his bruised knuckles. She made the agonizing choice to pack her bags and move out of his place rather than watch him lose control one more time. She could not stand to be near him mid-tantrum. So, what happens the next time a Forrester steps into his path? What happens when the person standing in front of him is not R.J. Forrester? Electra packing her bags was not just a simple breakup. It was a blaring, red alert warning shot fired directly across the bow of the Spencer family. Ridge Forrester already looked Electra in the eye and delivered a stone-cold ultimatum. He told her flat out that Forresters and Spencers do not mix. He warned her that Will is dangerous. Electra believed him enough to walk right out the door. She dragged her suitcase across the threshold and left Will standing in the wreckage of his own violent choices. The silence in that beach house is deafening. But the loudest part of this entire storyline is what Will has failed to say. He has not apologized. Not once. He has shown zero remorse for beating RJ so badly that the young designer had to be taken to the hospital. A man who refuses to say sorry for hurting someone he views as competition is a man who has not finished hurting people. Will Spencer feels justified in his violence. He feels entitled to his rage. Every single Forrester who gets close enough to challenge him right now is unknowingly auditioning for the role of his next target. They are walking into the crosshairs of a Spencer heir who has completely lost his grip on reality. Will is feral. He is desperate. He is volatile. He is soaking in the toxic, ruthless advice of his father, Bill Spencer, who casually dismisses the violence as just business. With Bill whispering in his ear and Electra slipping through his fingers, Will is a loaded gun waiting for a trigger. Enter Eric Forrester. The patriarch. The lion of the Forrester family. Eric does not do subtle when his family is under siege. He does not sit quietly on the sidelines when his legacy is threatened. R.J. Forrester is very much his family. He is the golden boy, the future of the company, the blood of his blood. Eric has been hovering over his grandson every single chance he gets since the beatdown started. He has been pacing the hospital floors. He has been checking on RJ with a fierce, protective intensity. Eric is treating every single bruise on RJ as a direct, personal insult to the Forrester name. That kind of deep, patriarchal protectiveness has a strict shelf life. It is boiling over. Eric Forrester is not a man who watches quietly while a Spencer bloodies his grandson and calls it a lover's quarrel. He is a titan of industry who built an empire with his bare hands. At some point, the patriarch stops fussing from the sidelines. He stops playing the worried grandfather and steps back into the role of the fierce protector. He will plant himself directly between RJ and Will. That is exactly the terrifying moment Soap Vision X is betting on. The moment Eric decides that enough is enough. The moment Eric walks straight into the blast radius himself. He is marching right into the danger zone, fully prepared to confront the wild beast that put his grandson in a hospital bed. Imagine the sheer cinematic tension of this impending scene. Eric Forrester finally corners Will Spencer to defend RJ once and for all. The Forrester patriarch towering over the Spencer heir. Eric raising his voice to a thunderous roar. His finger pointed directly at Will. Decades of patriarch fury and historical family hatred fueling every single word. Eric will demand accountability. He will demand respect. He will order Will to stay away from Elektra, away from RJ, and away from his entire family. He will unleash a verbal assault designed to put the arrogant Spencer boy back in his place. But Eric does not realize the immense danger he is walking into. Now imagine Will Spencer in that exact moment. A man already proven to lose himself completely when he feels cornered. A man who sees red the second his back is against the wall. Will is not going to back down from an old man lecturing him the way he is supposed to. He is not going to lower his head and accept the scolding. Will lock his feral eyes onto Eric. The pressure in his chest will explode. The daytime rumor mill has been obsessively tracking every single one of his violent outbursts, and this horrific prediction is the absolute next logical domino to fall. The tension will snap. The unthinkable will happen. If Will Spencer could not stop himself with RJ, a younger, more evenly matched target, what makes anyone think Eric Forrester is safe? Just because Eric is older? Just because Eric is esteemed? Will is blind with rage. He does not respect age. He does not respect legacy. When Will feels that overwhelming urge to strike, his fist will fly. The horrifying image of Will Spencer sucker punching the legendary Eric Forrester is enough to send shockwaves through every living room in America. An old man falling to the floor. The patriarch struck down by a reckless, violent Spencer. It would be the ultimate point of no return. A physical assault on Eric Forrester would instantly ignite an apocalyptic war in Los Angeles. Ridge Forrester would completely lose his mind. If Ridge was furious about bruised ribs, seeing his father struck down would turn him into a lethal weapon. Ridge would stop at nothing to see Will locked in a prison cell. He would unleash the full financial and legal power of Forrester Creations to destroy the Spencer family. The fashion war between Logan Designs and Forrester Creations would instantly transform into a blood feud. There would be no more runway battles. There would only be a desperate, vicious quest for vengeance. And what about Elektra? She is already torn between her lingering love for Will and her strict loyalty to her family. She is already crying over his desperate pleas for a second chance. But if Will lays a single finger on her grandfather, that love will instantly turn to ash. Elektra would be utterly disgusted. She would realize that Ridge was absolutely right. Will is a monster. Any hope of a romantic reconciliation would be permanently destroyed. Elektra would lock the gates of the Forrester estate and never look back. She would fully align herself with RJ, leaving Will completely isolated in his own violent misery. Bill Spencer would be forced into a massive crisis. Would he actually defend his son for hitting an elderly man? Bill is ruthless, but even Dollar Bill knows that assaulting a beloved patriarch is a public relations nightmare. The Spencer empire would scramble to cover up the scandal. Bill might try to buy Will out of trouble, but the Forrester family would demand blood. Katie Logan Spencer would be horrified. She would look at her son and wonder how he became such a violent, uncontrollable force. The entire Logan family would be dragged into the crossfire, forcing Brooke to choose between her loyalty to Ridge and her connection to the Spencers. To truly understand the sheer magnitude of this impending disaster, we must dive deep into the fractured psychology of Will Spencer. This is a young man who has been raised in the shadows of giants. He has watched his father manipulate, conquer, and destroy anyone who stands in his way. Will has internalized the toxic Spencer playbook. He genuinely believes that physical dominance is the only way to secure his territory. When Elektra walked away, she did not just break his heart. She shattered his fragile ego. Will using violent outbursts against RJ is not just about jealousy. It is about power. He is desperately trying to regain control in a situation where he feels completely powerless. His feral, tearful pleas at the Forrester estate are the actions of a man who is unraveling at the seams. He is a raw, exposed nerve. Every single interaction he has right now is filtered through a lens of extreme paranoia and defensive rage. He views any criticism, any boundary, and any lecture as a direct, lethal threat to his existence. This is why a confrontation with Eric Forrester is so unbelievably dangerous. Eric represents the ultimate authority figure, the very embodiment of the Forrester establishment that Will feels is actively conspiring to steal the woman he loves. The historical context of this looming showdown cannot be ignored. The Forresters and the Spencers have been locked in a bitter, venomous blood feud for decades. We have seen Ridge Forrester and Bill Spencer literally throw each other off balconies. We have seen hostile takeovers, corporate espionage, and endless romantic betrayals. But there has always been a twisted, unspoken code of conduct regarding the elders of the families. Eric Forrester is the undisputed king of Los Angeles fashion. He is respected, revered, and protected. For a young Spencer heir to physically strike the Forrester patriarch would be an unprecedented violation of that sacred soap opera code. It would shatter the delicate, fragile peace that barely exists between these two warring dynasties. Ridge has already drawn a hard line in the sand by forbidding Elektra from seeing Will. If Will crosses that line and lays hands on Eric, Ridge will not seek justice in a courtroom. He will seek total, absolute annihilation. The ripple effects would tear through every single character on the canvas. Hope Logan would be caught in the middle. Steffi Forrester would go on a warpath. The entire landscape of the show would be permanently altered by one single, reckless punch. This is the terrifying reality of Will Spencer and his unchecked temper. He is no longer just a heartbroken boy throwing a tantrum over a breakup. He is a highly dangerous man who refuses to take accountability for his actions. The bruised knuckles. The hospital visits. The total lack of an apology. These are the glaring symptoms of a deeply disturbed individual. The internet rumor mill is working overtime because the fans can see the writing on the wall. They know that a confrontation between Eric and Will is inevitable. They know that Eric will not back down, and they know that Will cannot control himself. The collision course is set. The unstoppable force of Will Spencer in his rage is about to meet the immovable object of Eric Forrester and his patriarch pride. When that explosive moment finally happens, the fallout will be legendary. Will Spencer is standing on the edge of a cliff, and he is fully prepared to drag the entire Forrester family down with him. The stakes have never been higher. The danger has never been more real. Will Spencer is one bad night away from committing the ultimate daytime sin, and we are all holding our breath waiting for the punch to land. So, we have to ask you, the fans. Is Eric Forrester walking blindly into a catastrophic disaster, or are we all just overreacting to a few bruised ribs? Settle this massive debate for us right now in the comments. Is Will Spencer truly one confrontation away from crossing a line he can never, ever take back? Or is this explosive rumor just pure internet chaos with zero receipts? Sound off below and let your voice be heard. What a dramatic plot. Thank you for reading. I am Emma Bennett, wishing you a very good day.